Good morning again. We are going to start the morning session with our keynote speaker, Dr. Daniel Bowden, who is a doctoral lecturer in sociology who specializes in community-based learning, qualitative research methods, and critical pedagogy. He holds a master's in education from Hofstra University, focusing on anti-racist education, and a PhD from Arizona State University, where he received the Mary Lou Fulton Teachers College Dissertation Fellowship. At LaGuardia, Dr. Bowden co-leads the Showing Up for Racial Justice initiative and serves on the assessment leadership team. He has been a fellow in the CUNY Campus Climate Grant DEI Fellowship Program and the Building Bridges of Knowledge initiative, where he designed training modules on the ethical and responsible use of generative AI in academia. With over 20 years of teaching experience, Dr. Bowden integrates community-based learning into his courses, where students complete over 1,000 service hours each semester with New York City nonprofits, addressing social issues and conducting ethnographic research. So it is my honor to introduce you to Dr. Daniel Bowden, who will share with us ethical AI and workforce readiness in education.
So thank you so much for the organizers for putting all of this together, and thank you so much to the faculty and staff in attendance. In particular, do we have any adjuncts here? I want to take a moment of the 2 decades I've been doing this, more than a decade and a half I spent as an adjunct. And for everyone to be here on Friday morning and doing this, filling this room up because we are committed to this is amazing. And then particularly our adjuncts, who I don't want to shock anyone, are overworked and underpaid. I would like to think highly appreciated. And I want you to know that you are seen and you are acknowledged, and we know that you are what keeps this going. So I do want a special thank you to any adjuncts who are here. I do really appreciate it very, very much. Okay. So about a year and a half ago, my policy was that if you use AI in my classroom, I will fail you. I will go to the student conduct committee. I will make sure that you are written up. I will make sure it goes in your file. And I will make sure it follows you if you try to go to another school. My position has softened since then considerably. Like a lot of folks, I was afraid of AI. I didn't know what it was. To me, it's just cheating. It's just plagiarism. It's someone else doing your work. I didn't see it as anything more than just, again, buying papers. Again, that's not exactly what it is. I had an opportunity in a previous year. I worked with CUNY Innovative Pedagogy, working in their Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Fellowship program. And then the next year rolled around, and they were doing another program, Building Bridges of Knowledge. This was going to take on ethical AI in the classrooms, and it was going to put a bunch of faculty together to develop some learning mechanisms, which I'll talk about when we get into this a little bit more. And even beginning that, I was very hesitant. I was very reluctant. My thought was AI is never going to be anything more than something we have to find a tool to catch. And again, I was really behind. And a lot of folks, good faculty, don't want to be behind. And that's why you're here today. A student emailed me uh, a couple of days ago as the semester was beginning, asking if we needed a graphing calculator. And I teach sociology, and it was for an intro to sociology class. And we don't use a graphing calculator. My immediate reaction was I thought it was a silly question. And then I was like, oh no, are the other faculty using graphing calculators? Are they graphing things that I am not doing in my class? And I had this panic, and I said, I have to look and see if I should be using a graphing calculator. They're not, but nonetheless, we want to be up to date, and we want our students to be up to date. We want our students to know what is going on. We want them to be prepared, and AI is happening. It's already happened, and it's happening in the workforce. It's happening in schools, and in particular for those of us at the community college level. Um, our students are competing with private school students, students who have access to paid versions of all this AI. I did not know there were paid versions of AI. I did not know that lots of folks, louder?
We don't have any paid version because I kept asking, I didn't get a reply. So CUNY doesn't have any paid version of AI.
We don't, at least we don't that I know of. But there are versions that folks more affluent than our students and us in particular as well, who aren't going to pay for these licenses, are. And they are, and that's what our students are competing with. And worse than just that, our students are going into the marketplace, the job marketplace, looking for positions where there's going to be an expectation that AI is being used. And we don't want to leave them behind. So today, I'm going to go through, I have a few 75, 80 slides. Uh, that's slightly teasing, but well, I want to go quickly, understand what the role of AI in education is and can be. I want to explore some ethical considerations on AI use and some practical strategies for using AI in our classrooms. I like to interact. I am from the subject-centered school of learning where we all take on something together. And so, I'll talk about some things and then we'll make some turn and chat moments where you can turn and chat with your colleagues. Uh, and so I wanted to start with a joke. Oh, and so oh, I lost my screen. Hold on. Okay, good. Now I can see it too. I wanted to start with a joke, and I didn't really have anything particularly funny to say, and so I asked ChatGPT, "What's a good joke?" I'm doing a seminar on college faculty learning about AI. What's a good joke to start? And I know it's just text on a page, but I could tell it felt really good about this. And it said, using AI in the classroom is like handing a lightsaber to a Padawan, immensely empowering, but one wrong move and it's absolute chaos. And then, without me asking, it said, if you want something geekier, or for the Trekkies, AI in education is like a holodeck program. Amazing when it works, but sometimes it glitches and tells you Napoleon wrote the Declaration of Independence. I thought it was funny, but I also thought it was a little offensive. How dare ChatGPT assume that this room would understand that, or that there would be geeks or nerds in here? And for it to use the word nerdy and geeky in it. And then I went and I said, well, there's already problems with this. And then I went and I asked for AI to generate a picture of a Padawan with a lightsaber on the deck of the Discovery starship. And it came up with this. And I said, this is completely wrong. That's clearly the deck of the Enterprise. That lightsaber is all wrong. And then I thought, well, maybe it does understand something about who we are and the audience of who will understand this. So as we begin ChatGPT, I want to talk about students. This is based on one of my students. Not a picture. That's a drawing. And so Sarah's a first-gen college student, much like a lot of our students. They are working multiple jobs. They're trying. They're working hard. They're smart and they are capable. But high school did not prepare them for college-level writing, which I think is an experience a lot of us have. Our students don't know how to put papers together. Our students don't know how to write really well. They have great ideas and they can express themselves often verbally, but they can't put it together as a paper. And she feels frustrated. She doesn't know if she belongs here, if she can compete, if college is for her. So one evening, while drafting a paper, she turns on an AI writing assistant. And as other folks have mentioned how old they are, this immediately reminded me of Clippy, that paper clip that would pop up whenever you were writing, and all you wanted to do was make it go away. And so AI writing assistants have improved a great deal. Sarah's able to show the paper. AI will help her organize her ideas. It will help her rephrase sentences for clarity. It will do everything that the writing center would normally do, but without an appointment, without traveling to campus, without showing up. Sarah is able to kind of get this feedback on the spot and improve her paper. With this, Sarah is transformed. She feels more confident. She is drafting more and more papers. I say drafting because it's important that these are process oriented assignments. One and done assignments, I think, are often going to encourage AI plagiarism and AI use, to where drafting is going to encourage students to maybe use it as a proper tool. But as she becomes more confident, she is thriving. And why this is important to us is that AI is not about replacing teaching. It's not about replacing what we do in the classroom or student work. AI can be an equity tool. AI can be something for our students to use to catch up, to find uh, the same ground as everyone else. And again, faculty like myself, um, who integrate AI as a support tool rather than faculty like myself a year ago, rather than banning it outright, are going to empower students. Those of us who take the hard line and say AI is not going to be tolerated, you're going to be left behind. And your students, worse than that, are going to be left behind because you'll eventually catch up, but your students will not have learned what they needed to. So it is a major important tool for our students to be using. So I'd like to take a second, if you guys want to do a little turn and chat, and introduce yourself to your neighbor if you haven't already. And do you currently use AI in your teaching or research? Do you have concerns about AI? We'll take like 2 minutes or so. What are some of your concerns? What are you hearing about? Are we concerned about academic integrity and plagiarism? As a lot of us are. Um, One of the things we have to do is focus on AI literacy. We need to teach students how and when AI can be used ethically. Process-based assessments, drafts, reflections, discussions, tracking learning throughout is going to be more beneficial to students overall, and it's also going to make AI use a lot harder to use it unethically. Are we worried about the quality of student learning? Will AI reduce critical thinking and deep learning if students rely on it too much? Well, then we're going to design assignments that require personal reflection, problem solving, and AI critique. We'll have students fact check AI outputs or compare AI generated work with their own analysis. We'll get them involved seeing what's really happening, and this will add a whole nother level and layer to what they're doing. Are we worried about bias and misinformation in AI? You should be. You should be. AI can reinforce biases, generate inaccurate information. How do we ensure students? How do we ensure students are engaging critically when they're getting all this misinformation or biased information? We have to incorporate exercises where students evaluate AI-generated content, identify biases, and cross-check sources. Encourage discussions on AI's limitations. Are we worried about data privacy and ethical use? If you're not, you should be. This is one of the biggest concerns, I think, with AI and AI use. And this is really hard. How can we protect student data? We can use institution approved AI tools and educate students on digital privacy. But I'm going to say the reality on this one is a lot tougher than that. I don't know how we can ensure that privacy. At the moment, my limited understanding, I don't think it's possible. And I think it's going to take a lot of work to ensure that our students' privacy is protected, as well as ours and our institutions. Are you worried about faculty workload? Are you worried about the role of educators? Does AI increase faculty workload? Is it going to replace us? No, I hope not. No, it's not. No matter how much folks might try to have AI teach classes or increase workload or the number of students in classes or things of that nature. We can use AI as an efficiency tool. And we have to emphasize the human elements of teaching, mentorship, creativity, ethical reasoning that AI is not doing. Now, irregardless of these concerns or fears, AI is already in the workforce. It's already happening. If you are in the healthcare field with nursing, medical imaging, telemedicine, AI is already assisting in diagnostics, predicting patient outcomes, and streamlining administrative tasks. Faculty are going to have to incorporate case studies where students analyze AI assisted healthcare decisions or ethical dilemmas. It's already happening in journalism and media. AI assists with content creation. A lot of what we are seeing online, if you are a fan of any type of social media posts or any of those websites, it's not even being developed by humans anymore. They know what you want to see, they know what you're going to click on, and it's giving it to you. So AI is already creating content, creating personalized news feeds. We can assign projects where students compare AI generated news summaries with human written articles to analyze biases and accuracies. What is AI saying that we are not, and what are we saying that AI isn't? In business and marketing, AI is being used in customer service. If you had a problem on Amazon or anywhere else where you bought something, if you've talked to a chatbot recently, it's probably AI. Have students experiment with AI generated marketing plans, critically evaluate AI driven consumer insights. In engineering and manufacturing, AI is optimizing production, predicting equipment failures, and assisting in design. Encourage students to explore simulation tools, data analysis, and ethical considerations in automation. In criminal justice and law, AI is being used in predictive policing, legal research, and forensic analysis. We can facilitate debates on ethical implications of AI in criminal justice, bias in AI policing tools, and legal AI case studies. Okay, I want to throw one out for you. As an AI in the classroom, what would you do? So, Professor Martinez teaches an introductory writing course. One of her students, Alex, submits an essay that is well written but sounds different from their usual work. When asked about their process, Alex says they used ChatGPT to help generate ideas and structure their argument, but rewrote it in their own words. Professor Martinez is unsure. Did Alex use AI ethically, or is this a form of academic dishonesty? How should she address this? What would you do? All right, so if you want to turn to your friends, and what would you consider? Is this academic dishonesty? Is reorganizing ideas and structure, but rewriting in your own words? Is it academic dishonesty? What do you think? And what would you do? What is your response as faculty to a student in this case? Go ahead. So you've probably come up with a lot of solutions and a lot of ideas on how to address this. Something everyone needs to address, and the purpose of this little case study is having a clear AI policy in your classroom, in your department, in your school, and CUNY overall. This is going to be coming up over and over again in every class, every semester, with more and more students as time goes on. And we're going to need to have clear AI policies. And I strongly encourage everyone to start thinking about what your policy would be in your class and how you would use it. I want to talk a little bit about CUNY Building Bridges of Knowledge, the BBK Project 2425. This brought together 25 faculty member from 5 disciplines from all over the CUNY system to develop AI ethical projects, assignments, modules for faculty, for students to use in developing AI into our curriculum. So this took place over the course of a year, and the goal was creating open educational resources that faculty throughout the CUNY system and beyond could use to facilitate this discussion in their classes, to get students knowledgeable about how to use it. These are, as we speak, available now or becoming available now. They've been uploading the last couple of weeks. If you go into CUNY Commons or search into open educational resources using the keywords BBK, it should come up. I'm going to go through this part quick. So again, I worked within the social science team, and we developed AI-enhanced assignments for understanding social science education and using AI to improve research skills, critical thinking, and data analysis. We really wanted to kind of incorporate this into the curriculum in a way that would really help our students. And what was developed in our team, we had students develop ethnographic research guides using AI to assist in planning, analyzing, and organizing ethnographic studies. As an ethnographer, I thought this was really wonderful. Coding with AI assistance, simplifying data analysis by teaching students how to use AI tools for coding qualitative and quantitative data. And oh, we need to get the pro version of that. Um, and AI assisted literature reviews, training students to use AI for sourcing, organizing, and analyzing academic literature. This was what the other members of our team worked on. I did not really feel, I mean, I could have created an assignment for one of my courses, but it did not really feel as if I was ready to do that. And I know a lot of other faculty are in that position. So I wanted to put together some form of modules that would help us understand AI and how it could be used. What are some of the AI programs? What are the different things folks can be using? So I put together an AI training module set. Um, I think originally it was supposed to have 10 modules and ended up having 15. And it's about 115 slides. They can be chopped up, they can be used in your courses, they could be used for faculty training, for student training, they could be used as different methods again, teaching your students about AI, how to use it ethically. It is open educational resource. It can be used in any way that you would like, as long as you give attribution and credit. So again, this is again for faculty, students. It's important. It will inform folks, collaborate folks, get folks used to doing lots of things. And again, it's there. It's there right now, just waiting for folks to use it, to learn about stuff of how they can incorporate AI into their courses and into their training. This is not necessarily assignments, right? So I didn't create any assignments with this. This is more for you to use in your classes or use for yourself to familiarize yourself with it. And again, there's just lots of stuff that I literally had no idea about, and this will kind of help you get on that journey. So if you're looking for a starting place, this is a great place to start. Once you get started, and while you're here, look up your discipline. Check out, social science. Check out math. Check out um, what do other folks learn about? Social science is kind of my whole world. But I know there's lots of other people. I know there's lab techs and things, all sorts of. Sure. But there's tons of assignments for everyone on there. These you can use semester-long projects, short getting started projects, whatever you're looking for. You'll find a lot of it on here. Again, search BBK is your keyword for this. And I'm going to hold this because I want to finish up. But keep in mind, and if this comes out throughout the day, while CUNY leadership is here, what's your AI wish list? What do you need? Imagine it's 1 year from now. It's 1 year from today, and you're in the best shape of your life, and you look really good, and your classes are all going well, and you got bumped up to a new position. They increased everyone's salaries across the board. They were just like, you know what, that contract wasn't enough. And it's 1 year from now, everything is great. And you are super confident using AI. You are using it in your classes, you are using it everywhere you go. What kind of support, training, and resources got you there? What is your wish list that CUNY needs to do for us to get you to be that 1 year from today person, that 1 year today instructor or faculty? What are you looking for? I'm not going to let you go back to talking. Just think about it. Think about it, and we'll talk about it maybe at the end. Very quickly, I want to talk about what our students are saying. So I ran my modules in my classes, right? So everyone tested their projects throughout the fall semester, and we got feedback and we talked to them. And so I talked to my students about it, and some of the things that students fear and some of the things that students are concerned about are academic integrity violations. Some of my students they want to use it, but they're afraid to use it. And they don't want to get caught in unintentional plagiarism. They don't want to be accused of it. Their fear is someone saying, this isn't yours. One of my students said, I used an AI tool to help rephrase some sentences in my essay. Now I'm scared it might be considered cheating. AI is advancing so fast, it's definitely outpaced our guidelines. Our policies on plagiarism are not enough. Their uncertainty about how to use it properly. Everyone's talking about AI, but I don't really know how to use it for my classes without crossing a line. We need to teach students how to use AI in our classes. Um, Accessibility and digital literacy challenges. And this is a big one. A lot of us sometimes we have to remember our students don't all have the same access or the same privileges. I hear about these AI apps, but I don't have a laptop. I'm not sure how to use them on my phone. Um, this digital divide can exacerbate an educational inequities if not addressed. This is something we're going to have to deal with to make sure our students are prepared and competitive. Again, the dependence on AI skill development. Am I really learning anything? We need to balance AI activities with activities that promote independent thinking. Again, all of our students are worried about the job market. They're worried about if they're going to get a job, and if they're lucky enough to get a job, are they going to be prepared when they get there? And again, so one thing for us as we come to the end of this, what is one action you can take in your classroom? What is one thing that you can turn to a colleague at the end of the day today and say, I'm doing this. Tomorrow I'm going in and we're doing this in my classroom. What is one step you can take? Is it an AI policy? Which again, I strongly suggest everyone has an AI policy. You're going to need it. Is it adding in an assignment? Let us know. Let's talk to each other. What is one thing we can do? Let's commit to this. And finally, just some takeaways. AI is not going anywhere. It is here to stay. We're going to need clear policies to reduce uncertainty. AI literacy is career readiness. If we are not doing this in our classes, we are leaving our students behind and we are sending them out unprepared. And small steps make a big difference. No one is asking you to redo your entire classes. No one is asking you to retrain yourselves. Small things. And we're all in this together. This conversation today, everyone being here today, this is what's going to get our students where they need to be and get us ready to get them there. All right. As educators, we are not just teaching students content, we are preparing them for a world that is rapidly evolving. AI is not a threat to education. It's a tool that, when used ethically and thoughtfully, can empower both faculty and students. By setting clear policies, fostering critical thinking, and helping students develop AI literacy, we ensure that they don't just survive in an AI-driven workforce, but thrive. Let's continue this conversation, support one another, and take small but meaningful steps to shape the future of ethical AI in education. Thank you for being a part of this journey.
Are there any questions for Dr. Bowden? Please.
Where do we look, BBK? Where?
If you go into CUNY Creative Commons,
Okay.
Or CUNY OER Resources, and then the BBK keyword will bring this up.
Thank you. You can just Google it.
And look, keep an eye open for emails or messages from CUNY Innovative Pedagogy, promoting this and letting you know that these things are out there.
So this is large learning language models that has been developed. Is it also developed for subject-specific content? Because there are many in the sciences which are very proprietary information, which is not available for the AI to come up with a model. So you have any products coming along those lines, or is it something that's still in the works?
I don't know. Yeah, that's beyond my understanding. Again, I don't get. It's happening so fast and it's evolving so fast. And one of the things is a lot of these things are coming out and available, but not to us, or not to certain students, or certain data sets aren't being made kind of open to the public, and so or for free. And so yeah, so I don't know. That's a great question.
Thank you for your talk. I was just curious, you kind of quickly over the concerns related to critical thinking. So that's something that's constantly on my mind about use of AI and that our students would not ever develop critical thinking skills. Can you say a few more words on what are some of the ideas you have?
What we really need to do with this is that, and this is generally, I think this is good pedagogical practice. When we're looking at our courses, they should be building. They should be kind of looking at a kind of complete system where everything goes in one direction or to one goal or to one purpose. And a lot of us are doing this anyway. But Are all of our assignments connecting? Are we using the draft process? Are we doing things in a way where we're actually sitting and talking with our classes and students and giving feedback and recognizing, saying, you know, all right, this is where we're at. Now, how do we take this over here? How do we take this over there? And in this case, using this kind of drafting process and this constant revisiting, students are going to be building this concept or idea, depending on whatever your course is, in a meaningful way. I strongly discourage folks from one and done assignments. You know, anything like that, you're almost begging them to use AI just to answer your questions. If it's going to be, if you talk about it on Monday, they hand it in on Friday, and next Monday we're on to a new topic and we're never going back. And just in terms of general learning, that might not be the best way to do things, right? And so that's kind of my recommendation, right? Make sure that we are always building, drafting, and revisiting, that we are actually, our assignments are meaningful and important and not just, time consuming.
Hi, thank you again. I was wondering, especially in regards of your mentioning kind of access and privacy for new students, with there being kind of open source, advanced models now, do you think it is a good idea or possible to maybe eventually CUNY could develop like a language model for students, or that guaranteed your privacy since it's open source or something like that? Does that make sense at all?
It makes perfect sense. Is it possible? Can you keep it safe? Can you keep it protected? I mean, that's a great idea. That's exactly what we should be doing. But can you keep it from, can we keep it from being breached? That's always what I say. As an ethnographer, as someone who does interviews with folks, I always give the idea that, I'm the only one who will ever hear this. I'm going to code it. I'm going to just delete it, and, it'll be gone. But it's not gone like it was in the 1980s where you burned the tape. It's recorded, it's digital. I can delete it. I could throw my laptop away. It still exists. Someone could get it back. And so the idea of privacy just nowadays is just, again, this is just a concern I have in general, that we have to be aware of, is just we're not protected like we used to be. But again, that's something we should be working on. Yeah. Okay, go ahead.
Thank you. You're giving me a lot to think about already. My question is actually if you could speak a little bit about the ways that AI is learning from what we put into it and how that contributes both to our security concerns, but also improved work from students who use AI over time.
It is amazing. Number one, it's taking everything everywhere all at once and putting it into this one giant mind. And so this kind of unlimited access. What our students are doing with it, as our students work more and more with the same engine, the same input device, it is understanding and learning them. It is learning how they write. Even the questions it asks, it's aware of how they're typing and writing. It's thinking about them. And so the more time a student spends with it, the more it will become almost a mirror image, right? It's this generalized other, right? That you can speak to, that you could talk to, that you can get advice from, that you could run ideas off of. At the same time, I would be aware that it's also feeding off the giant pool of everything else that is on the internet, a lot of which is horrifying and scary and bad. So you might end up with a mirror image of you that is distorted. But again, the fascinating thing is, the more time you spend with it, it will grow and learn, and it will learn what you want. It'll learn what you're talking about. It will learn who you are.
So they talk to it. Are we worried that they're putting? Is it any worse than Googling a question you would ask someone in public?
The difference I would argue the difference is, in this case, it knows who you are. And all of that is together. It knows. And so, or it can know, it knows. And so your privacy in that question that you ask, number one, is at the leisure of whoever is running this interface. And it can be used then for any other discussion anywhere else. Anyone else who comes in and puts in that question is going to be privy to your interface before. They're not going to directly share it with them, but that input is going to be there. Don't upload your don't upload your drafts or papers or anything for publication into ChatGPT to check for errors. You are just giving it to the world. Okay. Oh well.
Yeah, in your study of AI, particularly ChatGPT, have you come to a point where you feel like ChatGPT actually censors the users? Censoring.
Oh.
There are times where I type in something and then so ChatGPT will tell me, sorry, I can't do this. So it just block the output.
Yes, there are certain things, and there are certain, depending on what input you're using or what stuff is. Some things are protected and some are not. If you for our image earlier, Jedi would not be acceptable. Mickey is not acceptable. Mouse is, and so yeah, so yeah, it is blocking some of the things. I don't know if it's blocking these things for safety or more just simply copyright or fear from going up against massive media companies.
Yeah, so what I mean, so my concern when I've experienced that is, when you talk about free speech, the culture of canceling and all that stuff that's been going on in America and across the world, the UK and all that. So I worry that might be a problem along the way, because then ChatGPT is telling you this is not allowed, this is not allowed. So I feel it's a form of censoring.
Absolutely. And there is the potential for these engines. And if one of these engines becomes super popular and it becomes Google, that will be the worldview that everyone sees and nothing else.
Well, I'm sorry, I'll thank you, Dr. Boyd. We can continue this conversation over lunch. And
Thank you all so much. I appreciate you all very much. Thank you so much.
so I would definitely say it was a very engaging session, and it has definitely set the tone for rest of our morning and afternoon sessions.